Hi there, my name's Devin Knight, and welcome back to another video in our series talking about Power Automate date expressions. In our first video, we looked at some basic date expression capabilities, very basic, but now we're going to start to look at some specific use cases of how you might use and leverage date expressions to solve real business problems. As always, don't forget, make sure you like and subscribe this video, hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever we have new videos come out around Power Automate, Power Platform, Azure, or even SQL Server. Make sure you get those notifications because we do have a lot of content that comes out on a regular basis. Now, for today's video, again, we're going to be extending on the capability that we learned about in our previous video on basic date expressions. And to be able to demonstrate this, I'm showing you a very basic flow here to get us started. This is just going to have a very manual trigger, and what we want to do is we want to return back the last day of the current month. Now, why would we want to do that? Well, I actually had a genuine use case for this at Pragmatic Works. We wanted to make it so that whenever we had a new opportunity created from our sales team, that it would have a task or an action that would automatically create a new opportunity on the last day of the month. So that way they could have all month to be able to follow up with them. But I'm sure you'll have a lot of use cases of your own on why you might need to be able to create a last day of the month type expression. So in today's scenario, what we want to do is we're going to start and do some building blocks. We're going to not tackle this all at once. We're going to kind of think through this before we just jump into writing expressions. I always recommend kind of maybe even doing some whiteboarding or some sketching to think through the problem you're trying to solve and how do you break that problem down into smaller chunks. So rather than trying to tackle it all at once, how can we break this down into smaller pieces? So here's what I would think to do. If I want to return back the last day of the current month, I might start first by figuring out what next month is. So what I would do is, let's say, go 1 month into the future. And so there are some expressions to allow us to do that. We can use an add time expression and use a month interval to be able to pass into it. And we can say, hey, we want to go back, or I should say go forward in time 1 month. And then what I can do is maybe I subtract the number of days that we are currently in today's month. So if today were, let's say, for example, April 25th, it's not, I'm just throwing a date out there, I would want to return back the number 25, so that way I could subtract from the future date, that's 1 month in the future. And by subtracting today's current date, April 25th, let's say, from 1 month from today, which would be May 25th, I should be able to return back the last day of the current month. So how can I do that? Again, I would recommend breaking things down into smaller chunks. Whenever you figure out the problem, you may want to kind of combine everything together. But for the purposes of understanding how to solve this problem, we're going to do this in very small pieces. And so we're going to start by adding in a compose statement within inside of our flow design that we have, just so we can start to return back different elements of what we're trying to do. So for example, if I want to return back 1 month in the future, I would add in another step, and you could do this in a variable or you can do this in a compose. Compose is a great way to be able to just return back values and see what it's showing, see what Flow thinks you're seeing or what Power Automate thinks you should be seeing here. And inside of this new compose, I'm going to go ahead and go over to the expression section over here on the right-hand side. And inside of our expression above my head here, let me go ahead and take myself off camera for a moment for this. And so if I zoom in on this, what we want to do for our expression is we want to return back using an add to time function. We're going to use and pass in, and usually you'll see, for some reason, my expression hints, my template are not popping up here. But what I'd like to do is I want to pass in the UTC now function into this. So I want to return back from today's date, give me 1 month in the future. And so if I want 1 month into the future, I can tell it that I want to go 1 unit forward, and then the intervals that we're looking at are going to be at the month level. So I can tell it 1 month into the future using the add to time function here. Okay? All right, so if we like that, that should help us go forward 1 month into the future. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on this. That's going to add our expression into our compose. We can, of course, rename this. I would certainly recommend renaming these. And I will call this compose return 1 month into future. All right. And if we want to save this and test this out just to make sure it's doing what we think it should be doing, we can go ahead and do this. I'll hit save and test this, run it. Let's see what value we get returned back whenever we run this basic expression that we have here so far. So we're going to do a basic little test. And indeed, we do get 1 month into the future. I could have added some formatting to that if I really wanted to. I'll show you how to do that. That's very easy to integrate formatting into that function. The add to time function has a optional parameter for doing formatting, and you can see I did not use it, so that's why I'm seeing the time indicator on the end of this as well. But if you look here, we do see, in fact, that it did return 1 month into the future. All right, so we'll add some formatting to this, but then after that, I want to return back the unit of measure, meaning, or not unit of measure, but I want to return back the day of the month. So I want to return back the number 16 basically here, and we're going to do some subtraction with that using the add to days function, or there's a subtract from time function, but I want to return back the number of days within the month so we can subtract that to return back the last day of the previous month. So that's what we're working our way towards. All right, so let's go back into edit mode here, and I'm going to go ahead and select my variable again. And if I wanted to add, or my expression, and if I wanted to add some formatting into this, I could do that by going back over to my expression here. And there is an optional parameter that's built into this particular function, the add to time function, and we could say, hey, we want to return back this date and the month, day, year format. So if I go ahead and select that and hit update, that will now return back our date in the proper format. I'm not going to run it again. We'll see that here in a few moments. All right, but the next thing I want to do is, again, I want to do this in chunks. Again, this could be all one expression, but to be able to learn how we're doing this in small pieces, we're going to add another step here, another compose step. And what we're going to do in this compose step is we're going to write another expression. So I'm going to go over to the expression section. And in this example, I want to return back the day of the month. So there is a day of month function that we could use over here. So I'm going to go ahead and type in day of month. And normally you'll have a little assistance here. I'm not sure why my expression editor is not popping up the template here for me. But we're going to use the day of month function. And we're going to return back UTC now. That's the current date function. And then we want to say that we want to return back the day of the month. And one thing that we're going to consider doing, I'm going to leave it like this for now. But one of the things that we're likely going to want to consider doing is we may also want to multiply this by -1. Because what we're going to end up doing here a little bit is we're going to use that add to days function. And so when we tell it that we want to add days, we want to do the negative adding of days, not positive adding of days. So we essentially want to subtract, not add. So let me show you what I mean by that. If I want to return back -16 for the day of the month that we're actually on, rather than +16, I can just simply do a little bit of math here. I can say multiply, mul is the multiply function, and I can say I want to multiply by -1. All right, so let's see what this looks like now that we've completed this. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. We'll rename this compose, and we'll call this return number of days to subtract. All right, so if I hit save, let's take a peek at what this looks like now. And then we've kind of got the building blocks here together to be able to return back the last day of the month. Really, all we have to do now is just do one more simple function to do this. So here's what we have. We made 2 changes. Remember, we did some formatting of our date, so you can see our first date is now formatted. And what we want to do is we want to take this value and subtract it from the value that we have in our second expression. So we want to take the -16 and take that away from our April 16th date to return back the last day of the current month. All right, so if we want to do that, let's go ahead and go back into edit mode. And we're going to add in another compose. Again, this could all be done in one single compose, but I'm trying to show you the building blocks of how to think through this logic. And what we're going to do in this final example is we're going to go back over the expression section, and we're going to use a function. Again, there's some other ways we could solve this. This is not the only way, but we're going to use the add days function. And what we're going to do now is I'm just going to simply tell it that I want to look at my dynamic content, and I'm going to pull from my return 1 month into the future. We're going to use that in my add to days function. That's our date that we're trying to add. And then what is it that we're going to add to it? Well, we're going to add our -16 value. So I'm going to put a comma and then capture where we have our -16, which is right here in our compose return number of days to subtract. So if I hit that output, we now have our completed function here. It's a little difficult to see here. I'm going to copy this out and put it in the notes of this compose. So I'm going to go ahead and say add notes, paste that in so we can see what it looks like. But what we're simply doing is we're saying we want to add days, and we're going to take the value of the output of our first compose, and subtract that from our days to return back. So our negative 16 is what we're adding. We're actually adding a negative number, which should do our subtraction here. So I'll go ahead and rename this one. And we'll rename this one return last day of current month. Now, like I've said a couple times, I could have done all of this inside of one compose statement. This is just showing you how you can build on the logic and mathematically think through what you're doing here. But this is really not a very difficult one to take care of here. So now if I go ahead and hit save and run this flow, let's see what we get. Now I'm using the UTC now function to return dates based on the current date, but we could have also done this based on some dynamic content that we got from our trigger or some other action that we pulled information from. But in this case, you can see, indeed, we are returning back the last day of the current month. I'm currently in March. It's returning back 3/31/2022. And of course, we could add some formatting into that if we really wanted to. We could go back into our function, and we could possibly format this to have, if I'm formatting this in US formatting, I would say, hey, let's go ahead and format this as MMDD, YYYY, and there we go. So now we're looking pretty good. I'll update that expression, run it one more time, run and save it, or save and test, and then we should see our final value return back here with the last day of the current month formatted in the way that we expect it to be. So what might seem like a difficult task, if you can break it down into chunks, think about it mathematically, how can I get the value and then do some subtraction here? That's a way to kind of think through some of these more complex date problems that you might be interacting with inside of Power Automate. So think through some of those things as you're working through those inside of Power Automate. There's different ways that you can construct your flows to return back the proper values. But that's our simple example for today, or a slightly more advanced example than what we did in our previous examples. Hope you enjoyed this one for today. Don't forget, of course, to subscribe and like today's video. Hit that notification bell so that way you'll be reminded whenever we have more videos coming out like this. Hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks so much.